So if we want to do scatter plots, right, we have to know how to plug points, right? Well, we did that in 1.1. Okay. Now what we're doing is we're plugging in points in a graph. It looks like this. Okay. No matter what the graph is, could look like this, could look like this. I'm going to come up with 3 different ones. Okay? Then we're going to talk about them. 1. Okay? There's one type of graph or scatter plot. Okay? Here's another type. Okay? And then, here's another type. Okay? Now, if I drew a line through this, right? Is that recording? Did I not push record? Yeah. Okay, so if I drew a line through this, right? How close are those scatter points to the line? Pretty close? Pretty far? Right? Pretty close? Okay. If I drew a line through these, a little bad, sorry. Okay. Those are not as close, right? But they're there, they're just kind of spread out. And then what about this one? And the reason why I go this way, do you know why I would go this way? Anybody see it? See the little extra here and a little extra here that actually, everything's a circle except there's a couple extra on either end that I could actually go, okay, I'll split those two in half. Right? One on top, one on bottom, or one on. If I went right through them, it would be good too, right? But then you wouldn't see them anymore. And defeats the purpose of why I drew the line. So, yeah, like one on top, one on bottom, just a little bit out here, right? Just a little bit. But for the most part, it's just a circle, like somebody took a shotgun and shot a hole in the graph, right? So, shotgun, spray, a very point blank sniper, okay? So a sniper, very accurate, very much on the line, very linear, is going to be an R value. So the closer it looks like a 1 or like a line, the closer it is to 1. In this case, this R value would be about a 0.9. Okay? The only way to get a 1 is if every single point that you scatter plot is on the line. Every point that you plot is on the line. That's the only way you get an R value of 1. If any point is off the line, any point, 1 point off the line is a 0.9. You cannot get an R value unless every single point is on the line. Does that make sense? Okay? So your value goes from 0 to 1. 0 meaning it's all on the line, or 1 meaning it's all on the line, and 0 meaning it creates a circle. A perfect circle. Like the scatter plots made a perfect circle. If the scatter plots made a perfect circle, right, you would get R value of 0. Okay? That's the only way you could get an R value of 0. Otherwise, your R value is going to be about 0.1. Does that make sense? Anything in between is somewhere in between. Does that make sense? The wider this gets, yet still linear, the more this is like about a 0.6. However, if the correlation is negative, meaning it creates a negative slope, right? The R value is negative. Okay? Since these were positive slopes, the R value is positive. But because this was a negative slope, your R value will be negative. It's pretty wide. Now, if you put a 0.7 here, negative 0.7, you're going to get it right. Okay? Negative 0.5, you're kind of, negative 0.8, I'm like, So 5 and 8, I'm not happy with this. This is pretty much a 6 and a 7. Okay? This is pretty much a 9 or an 8. If you put a 7 on this, you're not going to get it right. It's too close to a 9. I'll give it to you for an 8. But what we're doing is getting very good approximations for this. Right? Now, again, I could make up some new ones, right? Where they were just a little bit wider. Right? A little wider, a little bit more of a circle, but still have the linearness, right? So where would you put this? Is it positive or negative? Positive, so the correlation is positive, yeah? Okay, and then what's the R value? So I know it's positive. Is it a 0.5? Is it a 0.6? Is it a 0.4? So, how linear is it? Is it very linear? Like you can still see pretty much a line like this? Then it's going to be, if it's just wide but linear, 0.5 or better. If it's kind of like, well, I don't know, it's not really, I mean, it's kind of making kind of a little bit of a, not that linear. It's linear, it's kind of going straight, but it's kind of got a bubble in both sides. So, about a 0.4. Okay? So, where would you be safe? What would be safe for you? A 0.5, a 0.4. I'd probably even give it to you for a 0.6. Right? All three of those I'd call safe. 0.7, no. 0.3, no. So this is arbitrary. Now, is there a formula for R value? Yes. Are we going to teach it to you? No. You'll learn it in statistics. Okay? It's a beautiful equation. It deals with this guy. We'll talk about that in pre-cal, right, Eric? So, but for the most part, you're not going to see summations and stuff like that in here. Okay? So, you have to plot the scatter plot. You have to tell me what the correlation is. So is it positive or negative? Right? And you have to be able to tell me how close is it to a line. Is it very close to a line? 0.9? Or is it very far from the line? 0.1? Right? Or is it pretty close or pretty far? Negative 0.6, 0.4. Okay? And that's what we're doing today.